Hello, buddies. Welcome to another week of Barn Burner, the unranked podcast.
Huh?
In
I mean, unranked. What you talking about?
well, it's always the number one. Well, I mean, let's be the podcast is a big world out there. We're competing with the world all of a sudden.
Joe Rogan still got us by a few hairs.
I think so. You're a Rogan
Although
guy, right?
he's a Spotify guy now. That's certain his numbers. I mean, financially good. But
Yeah, I think he's doing okay.
all of a sudden you got to pay to listen.
That way.
I feel like his numbers are still solid. I mean, I don't know.
Solid
I would think
numbers,
so.
yeah.
Yeah. People have the Spotify.
It's good to have goals, though. It's good to have goals. So Rogan, look out, because we're coming for you. It's good to see you looking human, sounding like a normal person again.
I'm like an 8 out of 10, which is a huge improvement from Saturday afternoon or Saturday morning when I went to 4 walk-in clinics, 3 of them randomly supposed to be open with paper signs saying, "Oh, closed today."
Yeah.
Google says you're open. I've been waiting for you to open. I'm first in line. No. Next one. No. Next one. No. I'm losing my mind. Shivering, sitting in the car, waiting for something to open. Doctor finally wheels in. And I'm like, this is a nightmare. Chatted with the doctor, got an afternoon nap in.
So what was the diagnosis?
Probably a virus.
Is it serious?
No. The clap. No.
Give your balls a tug. Is that essentially what the
well, he
prescription
said,
was?
look, you just hydrate a bunch and your system's going to deal with it when it deals with it. And then I had an event Saturday in Lake Louise, and I'm like, this is a nightmare. I got to get in a suit and go schmooze and drink wine, and like I can hardly stand up here. So I had a nap, threw some Dayquil in, and just floored it. Had a bunch of booze, and we were right back where we were supposed to be. All I was missing was booze, Dino.
I was going to say, because I had to leave here in somewhat of a hurry on Friday, and you were not good. You were not in a good way.
The faucet out of the nose,
and there's some
sweating,
dripping,
chills,
gross.
Yeah.
And then next I saw of you was on Instagram, I believe, and you were dressed up drinking red wine.
I was in a 3-piece suit in the wine cellar at the Post Hotel.
Yeah. So
that's how I deal with my illnesses, Dean. That's what.
It was like his retirement. Remember, Rhett?
You peed under the table at the
No. I mean, he was loaded up on medicine and then got bombed, and he was fine. He powered through.
I guess. Yeah. Okay.
The roast, not the retirement.
The memories, all kind of.
Yeah.
Right. The retirement.
I mean, I don't think I pissed him, but then Red also probably would have forgotten that too.
Welcome to the Tower Chrysler Studios, one and all. It's Calgary's favorite Chrysler Dodge dealer, 10901 McLeod Trail South. I was in, saw Serge last
How's Serge
week.
doing?
Serge doing great. Looks great. Everybody's good over there. Life's good at
sugar.
Tower.
What's on the showroom floor these days? They always got something going on. Like they've knew this, knew that, raising funds for this.
They got the truck. They
Oh,
got
yeah?
the Gladiator with the lift kit and the rims and the tires and the winch, and that thing is badass.
So like hanging with the Nation truck, maybe. Even,
oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Now this week, because coming up is Mother's Day this weekend, right? Right.
I know.
This week at Tower Chrysler, anyone who buys a vehicle is going to be automatically entered to win a $350 gift card to the Nordic Spa in Kananaskis, which you can then spin off for Mother's Day.
If you have not been or sent someone you know, you've missed out.
I love it. I
And
really do.
You don't seem like a spa guy. You love it. If you
I
don't know
love
what
the
it's all
spa.
about, it's the best.
Just laying around and,
Loafing.
oh, so good. Relaxing music, hot pools.
And Rhett's all about the cold
towel for coverage.
Submerge, get
Nothing
out.
underneath.
Well, and they do have that. They have the cold plunge.
plunges,
So
yeah.
you have the cycle that
That's
you
part of the
hold, and
Nordic.
You do the thing, and you pay attention and do as you're told, and you're gonna have a hell of a time. So there you go. Tower Chrysler, not only trying to get you inside a quality newer used vehicle, but also take care of you with
Helping
old
you out.
mama on
Good.
Mother's Day. How was your weekend, Rod?
Really good.
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh was great. The Ball Diamond, phenomenal. What a beautiful night. The crowd really into it. I would say better than the Yankee game. It was really good.
And how do the Jays fans travel to Pittsburgh? I hear it's not that difficult of a commute.
No, it's probably only 3.5 from the border.
Really?
3.5 from the border. So it's not there was lots and lots of Jays fans. Tons.
So they're saying there's like the Blue Jay belt where it's like Detroit's always huge because that's close to the border in Ontario. Minnesota's massive because you get Manitoba coming down. Then Seattle's the behemoth, right? Because it's all of Western Canada. Closest chance you get to see the Blue Jays only once a summer. They're saying Pittsburgh might sort of be flirting in there.
I don't know. Did anyone let you know that you made it on the broadcast over the weekend, Rhett? Did anyone tell you?
Yeah. Did your phone blow up when you got on TV?
No,
no
one's got.
Well, I got it for you later.
Okay, great. I've got that fancy call block where you got to push a bunch of
caller control.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. It's so hard to get a hold of you.
Doesn't get emails.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to. Hey, did we watch any playoff hockey yesterday? It's a Sunday. Life's getting busy. It's warmer out. We know summer, is on the way.
I didn't see the Jersey game. I was glad to see the results.
Yeah.
And I did see a bunch of the Toronto and the Seattle.
Yeah,
I watched
both. Shocking.
Yeah.
I watched the Panthers game and was on the edge of my seat. First time that's happened in a while. Was absolutely pumped. Was nervous. Was goal. I was living it. Ecstatic.
You ever think you've seen 3 icings in overtime that quick from a team facing their death? Like, just what's wrong with these guys?
Yeah.
Icing tweet. Are you guys icing tweet?
Ready to play? Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
Are we on the same page here?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
That pass was to no one.
We'll talk about the Leafs Panthers in a moment, but I figured probably because it was an early game, it's just kind of the way it is. You're going to have some forgotten series somewhere along the line, especially when it goes 2-0 early, like Carolina. They were up on the Devils.
2 big wins too, right?
Huge. What was it, like 9-2 or?
It was like 5-1.
5-1,
6-1.
Beat down. And kind of feels like a must-win all of a sudden for the Devils. And the Devils, they put their foot through the Hurricanes yesterday.
Which is good news because that series did not look competitive. We needed some of these things to get a little more competitive.
It's interesting.
Except I bet my dad and my kid $5 that Carolina was going to win. So
you can still win that money. I just want a long series.
No, it was a single game. Single game.
Oh,
I bet on that game.
Well, you're fucked. Change your retirement plans.
Yeah,
Canadian.
I threw together some of the.
Oh, okay, you're fine then.
Some of the goals from yesterday, and Timo Meier, it's his first, and
boy, that's a while.
He sure gets his first. So, but it just what you don't need to do play-by-play on this, but this was the game. It was the Devils all over the Hurricanes, whose D, I think, is still very highly regarded. Look at Hughes here with one hand on his stick behind the legs,
is that pretty?
Or through the legs behind the back to Meier. He tucks it in. Meier Hughes on the return feed. It goes off the stick of the defender, and he still puts it in the roof. And I don't know. Do you think of New Jersey fans as
rowdy?
Hardcore or rowdy?
Yep.
I
when
don't
they're
know.
good, they're great. When they're bad, it's meh.
They were wound up yesterday because it was 1-0, 2-0, 3-0. They just kept pouring it on. Frederik Andersen, he left. He said, "F this. Pyotr Kochetkov, you can come in and have some of this." There's the young Hughes boy.
Looky.
Spinning around Natchez, keeps it alive. Severson out from the wall, scores. It was a beatdown.
Yep. Good to see.
It was a beatdown in Jersey. So I agree with you. I think if you want...
we want competitive hockey. No one wants to see a bunch of sweeps.
Wait. Is that competitive hockey? 5-1, 6-1, 8-4? Right.
Well, it gives us
series.
It gives us a longer runway to find some competitive hockey. Is what it does.
And what's crazy is the Canes had 3 shorthanded goals. It's one of the very I forget where it is in the record books, but for the Devils to give up 3 shorties and still win. So there you have it. 8-4 is the final. So
I got the alert when Freddie Anderson got pulled. It's like Frederik Andersen has been removed from the game with a goals against of 11 points so-and-so and a save percentage of 670. I'm like, oh boy.
Goosh. So yeah, I don't know. It's a 2-1 series.
It's an interesting one. They didn't have Anderson in round 1. They rode Ranta. And on the other side, the Devils as top seeds lost 2 at home, looked like they were lost at sea in this first time in the playoffs with this core, and then rally hard in New York, win that heated rivalry series. And it was like, did they spend it all? Then they come home, get this one, and you're like, okay, do it again, Devils. Let's get another 7 games out of it.
Well, and remember in round 1, Vanacek got the boot because he was no good. So then Akira Schmid.
Yeah.
I'm a bigger fan of Shakira. those hips don't lie. And then Vanacek came in. That's his first start in 7 games, and he was real good when he had to be. So yeah, I don't know. I'm happy that maybe it's got some legs on this series, but you're right. I don't know how you.
They haven't been close, to Rhett's point, but at least now we're guaranteed at least 2 more where we have a chance at a close game.
And sweet Jack Hughes lost a tooth.
I know, he's growing up in front of our very own eyes.
Yeah, he lost one in the old gibbers.
Yeah.
The ladies of Jersey.
Well, and didn't he and brother combine for 6 points?
Mm-hmm.
That was something I read.
The brother's pretty good.
Well, the brother's big, and none of the Hugheses are big. Like, he's actually big. He's the youngest. You don't.
Cloud's a good player.
He's what, a top 5 pick?
Play with my brother? Ugh. Gross.
Dougie loves it. Dougie doesn't leave home without it.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the Dougie Freddy. I got it. I was wondering which Doug we were going to. We've got so many Dougs.
I thought you meant
how many Dougies?
Wow,
playing
I
with
thought you were
brothers.
talking about his old man, and then I'm thinking, is it the other Dougie? We know his brother. No, Dougie. Okay, yeah.
But yes, the Panteros, Rhett, you took the Panteros to win this series. You had them last round as well. You've got to be the only guy, I would think, that has.
I mean, I think I heard through round 1 there was 4 correct brackets out of like hundreds of thousands completed on NHL.com. So like some office receptionist and Rhett would be the only 2. Yeah.
Wow.
I like their colors.
It was my great insight. That wasn't my heart at all. I evaluated.
That's right.
The skill and the heart. And dug into
nothing
the
to do with the silks he used to wear.
I want to look at the winner from yesterday and just Rhett, I want you to marvel.
I love it.
I want you to marvel at the defensive prowess that we see. Our old friend TJ Brody. We had some Lafferty Daniel out there.
Lafferty Samuel.
Yeah. So the puck is so there's Sam Reinhart. He's just come right in.
Ice.
There's not a stick. There's not a body. There is absolutely nothing keeping Reinhart. Now watch this again because they're in fine shape. Florida is actually going on a line change, and at one point Reinhart
that's what Reinhardt's doing. He's stalling to kill time.
Reinhart looks up. It's like, oh shit, we're on a change, so I'm going to buy some time.
A bit.
Yeah. So he's taking a look. Nobody. Hey, and watch Luosterainen just outside of the blue line here. Watch this devastating hit that he lays out here. Oh man. I don't know how. I think that was Lafferty or somebody. How's he? And then watch our buddy Broads. He's gonna skate alongside.
This isn't
to be fair, it's running around the wall. This isn't
dangerous.
There's Kerfoot. Oh, I'm not gonna hit
He
you.
didn't even slash him.
Not a stick. Nothing.
No.
It was a tough effort from the Leafs after outplaying the shit out of the Panthers. Games 1 and 2, that was flat.
And like you said, icing.
Yeah.
And yeah, the Leafs won a series, and it's not going to matter because they're getting crushed again.
Well, they still have a chance to win the series. I think like a percent or two.
Matthews, Marner, Tavares, and Nylander have combined for no goals, 4 points, 2 of them coming at even strength.
And look, ever since you said Eric Gustafsson was a corpse and dead, he's been just showing up on score sheets. He has more goals than those guys in this series.
I never said that. It's just you plucked him out of midair as if we had been talking about him the day before. Oh, Gustafsson! What's that?
It was funny. You're like, I haven't heard that guy's name forever. And ever since then, and you're right, we hadn't talked about him, but ever since then, he was just like lighting up points on the Washington power play, traded at the deadline, comes into Toronto. Forever Flame.
Well, he's making the difference. They're down 0-3, and
they don't care, do they?
It could be curtains on Wednesday. They get that extra little day to sit around and stew.
Ellie was talking about this on one of the intermissions. This was a perfect scenario for Bobrovsky, who's a guy that struggled playing a lot in short amounts of time, and which is fine. You have Spencer Knight in theory, you alternate them, go back and forth, but they steal 2. They come home with an extra day, and then before game 4, an extra day. So you are allowing this goalie that thrives on a little more rest, and he was out of his skull games 1 and 2 in Toronto, like the best we've seen Bob maybe since like Columbus Vezina for him. It was a perfect setup for him to keep playing well. And they didn't need to be that great yesterday, but Jesus, like we did not see this storyline coming. The Bobrovsky return to Vezina form after a shitty season, pretty much. 4 of them.
Are you going to
He
make
can
a
only
remark
play in
there?
big games. He has a hard time getting up for those.
He didn't last
November.
year, tell you that. He got swept.
Yeah, I think there's been some big games, but you said, and I don't know where I fall in. I think I know where I fall in, because you look at the Panthers barely snuck in, and they're a second wild card, and look what they're doing. But at the same time, this is not a team devoid of talent
No,
or
very
high-end
talented.
elite skill,
Yep.
and they were a
First
top team in
place
the
last
NHL a
year.
year ago.
Yeah.
So
They were a talented group that had underwhelmed incredibly and was disappointing to the point where you're like, is it the coach? Does it need a year to settle in? Is that what we're seeing in Calgary? Like, I think there's a lot of similarities to Calgary. And that doesn't mean Calgary could go on this run, but it's a reminder of how slim these margins are. In the Pinder report, I got a little summary of the season. Like this, at points, they were left for dead, and I don't know that they believed in themselves that they could do this. Like this is, yes, it's a nice collection of players, but on paper, there was a nice collection here as well.
Sure.
And you also wondered about the coach there. Are we all of a sudden cool with them dumping Andrew Burnett for Paul Maurice because they played good hockey for 3 weeks?
if you'd have been told,
like it's weird.
if you'd have been told at the start of the playoff that with Spencer Knight gone and Alex Lyon
Starting.
the pumpkin is going to, he's going to turn
Yeah.
back into the pumpkin. You're going to be relying on Bobrovsky the rest of the way.
I'm telling
You would never. You'd have been even more confident in Boston to win that series.
Yeah. Now, look, we didn't know the severity of Bergeron with the bulge disc in his back.
I'm just talking in terms of Bobrovsky.
But yeah, like they were massive underdogs, and you watch them play. They're a group that's got swagger, and Rhett was saying it last week. They've embraced what they have to be. They've always been great on the forecheck. They understand that they're going to get outchanced, and it's like, okay, we'll get a lead, and our goal is going to give us some saves.
You learn how to win in the playoffs. These guys have figured it out. They know the style they have to play. I don't need to repeat myself. It's exactly what I said last week. They've found their style, and they know what they got to do. They're all on the same page. Like every shift, there's not a bunch of mistakes being made. The efforts up and down the lineup, all the same. They're in. They're 100% in, and they're 100% opposite of the Toronto Maple Leafs.
They played really well in games 1 and 2, but made some crucial mistakes, right?
Well, they made some mistakes, and I mean now, and everyone's talking about it. You go back over the Tampa Bay series. You could say now, watching this team, fortunate, perhaps, to get through that first round. I don't know. Big comebacks. You can't take away from that they accomplished those big comebacks, but the efforts, they don't all play on the same page. You got a bunch of muckers that are trying to work, but they're not being led by any of their top guys. Who's leading the charge for the Panthers? The top guys. Like, Kachuk's huge right now.
Yeah.
Ekblad's playing great.
Reinhardt.
It would be nice to care about the Leafs, because you could absolutely lambaste them. It's a joke. You could dig into all of it. Like I was thinking about it last night. I'm like, why is Matthews disappear? He's too good to disappear.
He took that shot on the wrist.
But he still
I don't know.
hasn't.
Before that, though, it was
like it's too easy to say.
I'm trying to remember who it was. Yeah.
No, I'm just remembering last night's highlights, and he takes a slap shot. As he's bending, it opens up the glove area, and it looks like right where that little knobby thing is. And I'm like, okay, this is a guy that isn't, the O'Reilly type. Like he is a finesse, skill guy. That's not the guy you want getting with the puck right there. But your point, like, sorry, everyone's dealing with shit. Elevate. The core hasn't elevated. Those core four have not elevated. I thought Nylander was exceptional in game 2. They got behind, and he was just dancing into the zone every shift. I thought they were the much better team. But fuck, if you're going to give Florida, who's playing with some structure, some confidence, forechecking hard, if you're going to give them the better goalie, it's over.
I just
and they lose Samsonov.
What's that?
And they lose that, and they
Samsonov leaves. Wall comes in, and that game-winning goal. I don't know if we can pull it back up again. I don't know if this is the perfect spot for a puck to be retrieved off the wall in terms of where behind a goalie is the most awkward for him to pick it up, but it seems to be design play or not. The timing of it is absolutely perfectly executed when you watch where his head has to move and where his body's going back and forth. And this is their third string goalie. So it's like, did he look a bit like a third string goalie here? Probably.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to his left for sure.
And as he should, but it's just if Reinhart is 2 feet one way or the other. Maybe he's turning the other way, right? Like or he's got time to adjust. It was perfect storm for that to catch him. And a better goalie probably makes that save. But that's why Wall has been in the American League all fucking
Brett,
year.
walk me through this again as you watch
I
this.
don't.
Because
I
there you
get
see
that
there's
maybe he should make
all
the
these
save.
white
But what the F?
sweaters.
It's all before this is your issue.
Yeah. You got 5
Look at all
guys
of
back. Guy walks in, he just rims it around, and you absolutely nobody does anything.
There's still no trouble here, though. Look, Rat. Like everyone.
I know that's my point.
Here.
There's no trouble, but there's no coverage either. Like, what is Brody doing? The guy in front of the net is turning. How about a talk? It's too loose. It's too loose.
Yeah. And they just didn't look right.
I think the goalie should have the save.
Start to the third.
I do think the goalie should have the save, but you still. Are you screaming at him? Are you telling the goalie? Like,
no, it's
nobody's
talking
talking
to
to
point.
him, right?
Yeah.
So,
and look, if it's fucking Alex Lyon at the other end, you get it. You're like, it's their journeyman third stringer. But like Matt Murray, as has happened a lot in his career, got hurt at the wrong fucking time for his team. Not that he's been a mega stud, but we know he's fucking better than Wall, who spent the whole year in the A, unless Matt Murray was hurt.
I still say the issue is their top guys. O'Reilly's not doing anything. I don't think Matthews. Nylander's looked good at carrying the puck and made some plays. But
Game
not
1,
enough.
He had one of the worst shifts I've ever seen on one of those Florida goals. I don't know if you saw it. It was the stand, like straight legs, stick. Like it was going viral, Leafs Twitter after the Game 1 loss. Because again, they were in control of games 1 and 2 at certain points, and we're outplaying them, but Bobrovsky was outstanding. Here's your problem. Goalies are going to get hot. You got to keep working. This was the wrong time for a bad game from the Leafs. They've really only played one bad game in the series, but they're down 2-0, and now you're cooked.
They maybe have only played one bad game, but they haven't dominated any games either. And I'll tell you what, those fat cat pricks in Toronto, they saw Florida coming in, and it was
we did it.
Semifinals. We're the Leafs. And again, you can't help but wonder all the BS that the Leafs fans. If you win that series, you are the greatest people in the planet. Oh, God has come home to Toronto. Mm-hmm. We are the Leafs. You guys are the best. They're arrogant pricks. They don't buy into being the hardest working team. They're not going to out-battle. When have we seen it? When things are good and they're easy, they're great. When it gets tough, they disappear.
And you know what? They've had some tough breaks along the way, as you have to lose 11, elimination games in a row or something they had. Like someone did the math on if you gambled for the Leafs to lose 11 closeout games in a row, you could turn $100 into like $350,000. That's how ridiculous the combination of things to happen was. They finally close out one against Tampa. And I was like, okay, they were probably due some fortune. Like they weren't bad in all those series. Yep. They had some bad penalties. They had some suspensions. They got some bad goaltending. They had injuries. But you also just need to see a little more want from their biggest 4 guys. And it just comes and goes too easily for them. And look, they're not dead yet. They're almost fucking dead. Like if it's 95% done, sure. But they are going to get one crack to win 4 in a row. If they do not, it is fucking another team with a massively intriguing offseason because it's the last year of Matthews before UFA. It's the last year of Nylander before UFA. They've been rotating goalies in and out for 3 or 4 years here. Giordano is ancient and to the point where you almost can't play him. Holes had a miserable postseason. O'Reilly's up as a free agent. Like this is another one of those teams like Calgary and Philadelphia and Pittsburgh where it's like nothing's off limits right now.
I was going to ask,
do they lose all?
Have you seen Marner at all? Didn't hear his name last
Not game 3. Last night was the worst game for those 4 guys of the playoffs.
Yeah, but doesn't that speak volumes? I mean, that's the biggest.
If they don't win 4 in a row, it does. Yeah, it was their biggest game of the year, and they were flat as shit. So now go win 4 to prove us wrong, because it looks like it's the same old Leafs. Right? Go do the impossible. Otherwise, you are what you are.
And like you said, the team that they're playing right now,
feeling it.
While they were President's Trophy, they were a top team, and they did just sneak in. But what they are right now is the most dangerous team maybe out there.
They're feeling good.
They've got a goalie who's suddenly playing out of his mind. Carter Verhaeghe has 4 goals, 3 of them game winners, one of them an overtime and series winner. Tkachuk's leading the way. They just have all those little things,
swagger, baby,
in a storied playoff run. When these teams get on them, they've kind of got all those elements. 6 in a row. You talk about being left for dead. They were left for dead against Boston.
It's true. And like, how many bounces were they away from not even getting here? You know, you talk about a game-time goal in the final, 65 seconds?
Well, wasn't it game 5 when Marchand had the breakaway with 5 seconds left and Bobrovsky stopped him and it went to overtime?
I mean, even one more game from a healthier Krejci or a Bergeron, it might not have been a long series.
Like right there, if
the margins are so fucking thin,
save, that series is over, and Boston's cruising. And I don't know. I think that they're probably giving Leafs similar fits.
Who knows? Boston, I mean, the injuries we heard from Bergeron were way more significant than we ever thought of when, the series started. And Ullmark clearly wasn't 100. It's a weird tournament, man. Every year we keep saying, it's only these guys are contenders. We've got 2 wildcard teams that knocked off the best team in NHL history and the defending Stanley Cup champs. Crazy.
Alex Barkov, 27. Tkachuk, 25. Reinhart, 27. Bennett, 26. Verhaeghe, 27. Duclair, 27. Can't say the guy's name, 24. Colin White, 26. Cousins, 29. My point is Aaron Ekblad, 27. Brandon Montour, 29. Forsing, 26. These guys are young and jacked up and ready to go.
In Florida. Yeah, that's true.
The Stalls kind of balance that out because they're both 75.
Fair, but you could come back next year with no Stalls. You're fine.
No, I mean, if you just look at the average age,
Rhett's talking about the best players. That's a great point. They're all right in their fucking prime.
I understand. We'll talk about the other game from yesterday. One guy had a hell of a game.
Plus the Stalls, wouldn't they age slower because they waited till marriage, right? Because
HearingLoss.ca is the website. The Hearing Loss Clinic. There are 5 locations in British Columbia, 4 in the city of Calgary, Shaughnessy University District Northwest in the Crowfoot Business Center and the North Hill Professional Center. If you're having issues with your hearing, treat this like you would going to see the doctor for a checkup or the dentist for a cleaning. This is the way that we need to start thinking about our hearing, because life without it is not great. Hearing loss, hearing impairment, when you get that back, or when it is improved, or when you find ways to live with better hearing, it's empowering. Socially active, you're more connected with loved ones, you become more confident. You can have that kind of confidence, and it's men and women of all ages. Of course, kids can suffer from it as well, and there's serious health risks linked to untreated hearing loss. So get an assessment done, book yourself in online, hearingloss.ca, social media, Twitter at The Hearing Loss, Instagram, The Hearing Loss Clinic.
Never saw my father smile as much in the month after he had his hearing turned back on after like a decade of not being able to. Life-changing shit.
Yeah, would be
good
for
stuff.
Sure. Now, speaking of, and not to, tongue in cheek, but this next video, Seattle, we know the crowds have been great. The barn is amazing.
Those hippies are fired up, Brett.
We wondered about those dope smoking hippies. Were they going to have any kind of bite to them? One guy was really on his game last night.
Okay.
And I don't know if you caught it, but whoever is running the goal horn, take a listen to Horn Guy in Seattle last night.
Sound up.
Good stick at the top of the blue paint. Cartier fires, blocked in a can to Heiskanen. Sanders, Wenberg, scores! To the outside, drives in, scores! Moves in, snaps one, scores! Bouncing puck, rebound, scores! Tanev across, score!
Ooh.
Schultz scores!
7-2, lads.
Ooh.
The final score. Jake Ottinger was brilliant in Round 1 last year, as we all know, against Calgary.
Well, last night.
5 on 17?
Yep.
What is going on? I saw this morning, and it's not shocking, I guess. If we talked about it when you were away. We haven't paid as close enough attention, clearly, to the Kraken. Because we talked about their goaltending and how improved it is. It's improved, but not top of the league by any means. Neither one of their goaltenders, neither Grubauer nor Jones, I think, had a save percentage over 9. In this playoff already, 16 different goal scorers for 10 games. They're only the 5th team in the last 25 years to have that kind of depth scoring at this point.
That's how they're built, right? No superstars, a lot of good second-line scorer kind of guys, right? A lot of Eberle's.
And much like Florida, all playing on the same page.
Yeah. And having fun, feeling
flat
good.
Out.
Yeah. Vibes. The vibe checks on the Panthers and Kraken right now are through the roof. So we have Aussie in-laws in town and Aussie cousin and boyfriend in town as well all of a sudden. And Buddy has not seen a hockey game on TV before. We're doing the Sunday dinner, catches the overtime of Florida Toronto. Like, oh, wow, this is great. And I'm like, there's another one going on. So we'll take the kids home, put them in bed, and we'll watch some of this game. Second period, 5 fucking goals. He's like, this is the greatest sport I've ever seen. Carson Seuss, he's bowling guys over, then MF on the bench as he skates by. It's like, last night was one for the ages. If you've never seen this sport, like he got the best period of hockey maybe all year.
He was MF on the bench too.
It was awesome.
Got that hit coming up. Jared McCann is skating. He's
they're doing without him. 40-goal guy.
Still putting up 7. The first one, the Eberle goal, the puck goes off of Heiskanen's face. We've seen a few puck in the face meet.
Yeah.
This postseason.
Hyman scored one, right?
Hyman scored one, but there was dude the other day, I forget which game it was. They had that low camera angle. He's coming right from behind the net.
Yes.
Whack right in the face. And this one hit Heiskanen.
He didn't come back.
He's going to have some stitches and it's going to be a mark.
Well,
right?
And I don't know just real quick, the framing of it, like you take a puck to the face, how serious is it? Is he gone for a while? There's also the score. And the coach was playing as it got out of reach, we weren't going to. But also, if you're in a series, that might be what you say, even if you're losing the guy long term. Like, if they don't have Heiskanen, that's big trouble for Dallas.
27 minutes, 41 seconds is what he's averaging. And I think came into the game at the 29-minute mark.
I think he's a hockey player. I think if he misses one game, he'll be back. You know what I mean? Like, I have no idea what the extent of the injury is or the stitches only or if there's dental work or, but they'll get a bubble on him and away he'll go. I had a guy on the bench yesterday in Pittsburgh, right in the coach, took it right in the nose.
Oh, beak.
Not
that
good.
Hurts.
Is he not paying attention?
Yeah. Eyes are, no, he's leaning in. It was terrible. He's leaning in to talk to a kid to give him some advice and poof. Oh, I'm like, oh.
Here's some advice, coach. Stop leaning in. Watch the game.
Yeah.
Right in the face.
Coach in the room.
Just your
You ever had to get your nose stitched up? I feel like that would fucking suck.
Brutal. It's no fun. You know what's no fun is when they jam those things up your nose and move it over for you. Thanks, Doc.
Remember that picture? We'll have to get it. I know he'll share that picture of Sarich's nose after one of the many times, but the last time he said it got broken, actually it helped because then they put it back. But it was truly like you hear, oh, it's just flat. His fucking nose was flat on his face. Gross. Other than that, good-looking guy though. Hell of a guy. That
gorgeous.
Chrysler.
Takes care of himself.
Yeah, sure does.
Runs.
Draft Lotto tonight and then Edmonton, Vegas to follow.
Weirdly, Edmonton separate from the Draft Lotto conversation. It's very weird.
Is there anything because we hear all the bitching about outdoor games and all-star games and all of this. Is there anything, and I know the answer, it's rhetorical, more painful television than watching the Draft Lotto?
They should send the mascots because the GMs fucking hate it.
It's incredible watching, and it used to be Duthie, and then it was Darren Millard. I mean, who does
Jackie Redmond probably now.
David Amber or somebody. Like, God, I feel so bad for them because they make this into television, and I get it. You sell it, and there's excitement, especially in a year like this when you've got a guy. Like, it doesn't have to be, but that's by design. They're making this thing.
Yeah,
And those GMs sit there, and one of them's happy. The rest of them are pissed right off, and
no one wants to
especially
be
this
there.
year.
Yeah. Who are the Flames sending? Brett, have they told you yet? Are you there? I know you're at home still.
No, it's not official, and I like you said, it's a pain in the ass. I don't want to do it anyway. So
nice of Alex to highlight the Ottawa numbers here for us.
Thanks, Alex. Guy.
Keep your pants on, old man.
Settle down.
And you know what? The funniest thing about the lottery is that everyone believes it's rigged, even though we all kind of realize it's ludicrous to think that, because why would you send a superstar to Edmonton when they're selling out shit anyway, like with bad teams? Like, it's the notion of like, oh, well, that's where Gary wants him. It's like it's like Santa Claus. We're all just buying in, even though we know it's.
It's on one hand, it's completely boring and dull, and I don't know if anyone's looking forward to it or cares to watch unless your team is in it. But and this kid, if he has that impact, and it's expected that he does, tonight is a monumental night for some franchise out there.
He was a better junior player than Connor McDavid,
right?
And that's crazy.
I think that's why some of these have intrigue and interest. Connor McDavid, Connor Bedard, Owen Powers last year. Sorry, great player, but you're not. Who's tuning in for that? People in Buffalo,
even
maybe,
Austin
right?
Matthews, postseason exempted, but
there's the odd. You've got the potential for some of these guys to be Hall of Fame careers and really special players. So I think some years are a little bit better than others, but it's painful for the most part.
Even Jack Hughes, right? Like, it's taken a while, and he was asked to go from the U.S. program right to the NHL as an undersized player. That never happened before with anyone. Even Austin Matthews went and played in Switzerland for a year. Other guys go play in the O, whatever it is. But like, that guy has completely changed the way that New Jersey has a window, right?
Can I ask you a question?
Just thinking.
Can I ask you a question? With Austin Matthews, I was thinking about this because it was such from all accounts, an extremely unique and, it was unique the way he got to the NHL. From what I've heard, he was playing 3-on-3 hockey.
Small area games. Didn't play on a traveling team.
Yeah. Okay. All great. All fine. The question I'm getting to is, you cannot deny his talent. But I've yet to see in a game that was a big pressure situation, him take over. I'm talking playoffs. Well, I am only talking playoffs. Is there something to be said about that? Like, even going to Switzerland to play, that's great. Playing against men, putting up points. I can't deny the talent. It's some of the best ever. But did he ever learn? Through all of that, did you ever learn how to play in those tight situations, those big matchups, those we need you to overcome all this adversity type stuff? That's my question. Do you think it's been a detriment in a way?
I think he was exceptional at times in the Tampa series, but he's had a lot of very underwhelming playoff performances to the point where it's like they're just outnumbering the good ones by quite a bit. And that, to me, comes back to like, what's up with that team mix? Like, if you swap him and Leon, do the Leafs have like 5 series wins, or does Austin in a different mix thrive more where he doesn't have to wear the C? I don't know, but I think there's maybe something to be said that like he ain't a captain at this point, right? That he's an absolute star. He can score 60, but there's something that's not quite right. And he has battled through injuries all this year. He was nowhere near that 60-goal chase he had last year, but still, it's like you just left wanting more in big games, aren't you?
Yeah, and it's not a complaint. I found it interesting in my own head to think about it, where it's like, okay, it's a totally different path to the NHL. Again, not denying the talent, but is there something to be said about riding the buses from Red Deer to Brandon and playing in a 7-game series there, or the USH? You know what I mean? Like, the challenges of a regular season and then into the playoffs. I have no answer. I just thought it was a unique and kind of a different I actually thought it was pretty cool to come up with it. Think about it.
I think of him and Matthew Tkachuk is similar. Like they're same age, similar path. One went to Europe for 1 year. One went to the O for 1 year. They both probably did get paid. But I just think their makeup's really different. Like you just never question Tkachuk's gamer. And so like did, so right? Just hang on. So if Austin Matthews went to Everett for 1 year, does anything change? I just don't really believe that. I mean, well, we don't know.
I'm not trying to portray that it does. I'm asking a question. If you think that there could be anything to that, this is deep analysis.
His 7th straight postseason in the NHL. He's got 44 points in 48 games, so not terrible.
But better numbers than Matthew. Yeah,
I forget which analyst was on and was basically saying this guy should be one of the best, if not the best player on the ice at all times.
He's a top 5 player in the league.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's right. He has all world skill. He should be at that level, but he's not. And I've been caught in that trap where I think of Ovechkin, that you can't do it until you do it. And then I guess you can do it.
Yeah.
Right. Because those were the same things about Ovi. Is he selfish? Does he care? What's this? And then you saw, he absolutely cares. And then he finally broke through, and they kind of said the same thing about Pavel Datsyuk and Zetterberg in Detroit, that these guys were mild and meek and didn't have what it takes. And then they won 2 cups or whatever it was. So I don't know.
But you're talking about 7 years of playoffs too, right? 7 years. Like it's not.
How long was it for Ovi though? I mean, I understand that he got to the second round, but they couldn't get through the second round. It was probably about 7 or 8 years at least, wasn't it?
Had to be in that neighborhood for sure.
And you run into Sid every fucking year in round 2. That's a pain in the ass.
Part
not
of
like
it,
the Leafs have been going out to bad teams. I mean, they lost to Columbus in the bubble. That was weird circumstances. Their goaltending was upside down. Columbus in that series, that was soft. They blow a 3-1 lead to Boston. That was soft. But otherwise, generally speaking, they've lost to really good teams that were more experienced and that had done it before. But there's still probably a mix issue there.
And that's all fine. And I'm not trying to say I'm correct in anything. It's a question. I just wonder, because it's fine. Oh, they didn't have this. They didn't have that. This shit happened. That was no good. Bad luck here. The best players deal with that and carry their team and get noticed in a game 3 must-win situation.
So, like Leon has shown this postseason, he's a fucking alpha. Like, we understand who the most talented player in the world is, but we also understand who the big dog is in that room now, don't we? There's no confusion. And that doesn't mean he's better than Connor. It just means we understand where the tone's set. I don't think Connor's that natural, like, get behind me. Like, he's just the best, most talented guy. How do we feel about McDavid looking through the same lens as what we're talking about with Matthews? Like, he's been through the first round 3 times in 8 years.
I have a harder time looking at him.
He's a better player. Like, I'm not saying he's not.
What I'm saying is I don't see it the same way, because when I point to McDavid and Edmonton, I don't point and say, McDavid, you really should be doing more.
Yeah.
You should be more. You're not holding up your end of the bargain.
That's a good point.
Whereas for Matthews, I think you can make the argument.
Yeah. It is one of those things though that you talked about, where it's like, this, when he does it, it'll be like the check mark. Now it's the OV, like, okay, we can have the coronation now, but he hasn't yet. And it's been a fucking tough watch for those fans.
It's funny you mentioned Tkachuk going to London, because on that same junior team was Mitch Marner.
Mm-hmm.
So he did play 3 years of in the OHL with London, and has been to 7 straight postseasons with the Leafs, and he has almost identical numbers. Matthews was 44 points. Marner has 45 points in 48 games.
And Tkachuk would have less than that with
different
games
players,
played and points, I'm guessing. This year, he was at, a while ago, 14, 1 back, so he would have 29 points at some point here before this last couple of games. And like, he wasn't a great playoff performer till this year, but it just felt inevitable. Does it feel inevitable with these two guys? I don't know.
Not to me.
No.
Not to me.
Not to me. Man, and you wonder because you still look at those players, especially
Connor
a guy like Marner. And I was just going to say where we always preach patience and they just had to wait a little bit longer. They've waited a long time in Toronto. And if they go down here, is it their fault? Do you look at Florida and just say they had lightning in a bucket, Rhett? Or where do you fall in? 7 years is a long time. I don't know. Well, it feels like it just feels like maybe any kind of breathing room that Dubas and those guys got for themselves with a round 1 win is kind of
very easy to ignore because you can now go back and say you were fortunate. You didn't dig in to get yourself through that first round if you throw these 4 in a row, right?
Or you did, but it means squat. So you won 1 out of 8 first rounds. Like, fucking who cares?
I know, but
congrats on having one good series. Yeah.
If it was
3 of those wins by overtime,
or if you were lucky.
Yeah. Well, hey, sure. I mean, but then the flip side is, look at them in big moments. They're showing up now, right? No, you play it both ways.
It just dawned on me that they had.
The bottom line is that, like, the Shanahan plan, whatever they're calling it, should have provided more. Dubas, his resume is now on trial with his contract up, and Keefe was his guy to solve this problem. And, fair or not, like, this group is too good to have one series win.
It is, and that's why why
shit's going to change.
I'm not a Leafs fan, but it makes you curious. I'm looking at it through curiosity as to what's missing. Like, obviously, everything has to go right to win. You don't win the Stanley Cup just because on paper it says you're going to. Clearly,
ask Boston.
Yeah. But what is the missing factor in that review? Is it – go ahead.
Have they had the best goalie in a series for a while?
No.
And that's an area that they've continued to try to paper over at a discount because they spent so much on that core 4. Jack Campbell
worth
was
11?
No, but at the time you signed him, you thought the cap would probably go up more than fucking $5 million over the next decade or whatever it's been. It was supposed to get easier as the cap went up, and then a pandemic happened. And to be fair, Marda and Matthews, those contracts broke the mold. Nobody got 5 years and max money. It was either you take the money on long term, or we'll give you a shorter term and get you to free agent sooner, but you got to take less dough.
Well, I remember Berkey would come on our old show and just crush Dubas for doing that.
Well, he said, Nylander, you can't pay your 7th best player that much money. Well, Nylander's the fucking steal of the group. Nylander's the best deal they signed there. He's as good as the other guys, and he's making, 60%.
And maybe it's hard if you're the GM of that team in that market and a guy like Tavares comes on the free agent market and you don't have to give up picks or prospects or anything.
Right,
you can just add
money.
him. If the role was reversed and you were here and you had all of that,
it kind of did.
You'd probably do it.
But what would you do with them? Yeah, and even if you didn't, what would you have done with the money? Would you have gone and signed Markstrom? Right?
No,
like
but
if you're thinking that
you have more money
goaltender that you're short.
Yeah, like Tavares isn't worth 11 now, no question. And Matthews, with his skill set, you could understand, okay, this could be one of the great superstars in the game. He's got us over the barrel. We have to do this. We're fucked. Marner at the same offseason was a nightmare. Nylander the next year. Like, those are really tough negotiations. And that'll happen in an environment before the cap flattened out. That's a tough break for that to occur all after those huge commitments. But what it did was, when you were going to spend $40+ million or around that on 4 guys, you just, by, common sense of knowing how a budget works, you have less for your defense and you have less for your goaltending. And you've got to fill all the gaps like Chicago did after they paid all their guys with a bunch of league min guys.
Well, and that could work if your top guys go and produce at an exceptional level, but they aren't. Here's another question then with Matthews, concerning Matthews. Is the fact Tavares there and the captain a negative for him? Would it have been better, player, just hear me out, to have give him the pressure of being the captain, stick the C on his sweater and say, you are our guy? Does he rise up to the occasion then? Does he not have the scapegoat of saying, I'm not the captain, I don't have to be the number one guy? I guess it depends on his personality, and I don't know him from a hole in the wall, but it's just, I wondered about that too, where it's like, maybe he needs to have the pressure of being the number one guy.
I don't know him well enough, but it was funny when you saw him early in his career. He's non-traditional hockey market, grows up, low income family, wasn't on the travel team. Like, he has this hard knocks upbringing, but then when he gets to the big time, it's this very glitz, glamour, GQ shoot, big city. And that's fine in most sports in the world. But in hockey, that seems to really, it's a tougher thing to pull off, because you better be a guy with huge stones, not off the ice to do it, but back it up on the ice to be able to get away with it. Like, Wayne can go to a photo shoot on, Laguna Beach with his Playboy wife because he was the best. This guy's doing stuff and it's like, oh, you're doing that already, hey? Like, that's like, he has to now overcome that. There's this sort of old man hockey brain stuck in all of us saying, is he a little bit soft? Why isn't he better in big spots?
He has 1 year left.
Yeah.
Are the Leafs in a similar spot to the
Tkachuk?
Calgary conversation? What do we do here? Do we?
It's the Tkachuk spot all over
bring him
again.
back, or what do we do? Because
that's where this draft will matter, or could matter, right? Like, if Bedard ends up in I mean, I don't even know if the franchise survives Arizona. But could you imagine Bedard goes there and all of a sudden Matthews is going, to hell with it, I'm going home. Like,
yeah, if someone's buying the Senators for $1 billion, what do you pay to airlift that thing out of fucking Arizona and get in a real rink?
But no, imagine in a 2-year span,
yeah,
you get
sure.
Austin Matthews, Connor Bedard in a new rink.
Yeah. Oh,
you're not moving that fucking team anywhere.
No, it becomes a top 10 revenue team in the league.
Yeah.
And that's why Gary's been married to the dream of Arizona forever. It's not because it's made money along the way. It's been fucking leaking oil the whole time. But if you could ever get a rink done, it's a huge market, and it's not a place without money. Like, Scottsdale is fucking booming. And that's 18 minutes we mapped it the other day from Scottsdale to the rink, 14 minutes. Like, it's, whew. Like, you can see why Gary, as stubborn as he is, wants it to work there, because it could be a bonanza if they get it right. And they're a good team. They were tough out this year. Plucky, young, cheap.
Well, and as soon as they get good, as soon as they get good and start winning, it's the same benefits being in Arizona as all those other teams we talked about last week.
Vegas, Florida Tampa.
Teams. It's the tax situation and the lifestyle and the weather all matter.
And so here's the fascinating wrinkle or two, real quick. Sorry, Boom. With Matthews, they can begin negotiations on an extension July 1 with him. He was a notoriously difficult, got the bag and the term negotiation coming out of entry level. A, what does that next deal look like? And B, is Dubas even the guy to negotiate it? Is he there?
Well, and C, if they lose out on Wednesday night and the city and the fans turn on him to an extent, are you sticking around? You have another flat game Wednesday. They lose out 4 in a row, and the world ends because everything revolves around Toronto, and everyone's bitching at you, telling you you're terrible. Thanks for not showing up. Are you staying there?
If there's a guy that could use a break from the largest hockey market in the world, it might be the American from Arizona who played a sport and all the people who knew what it was when he's growing up.
It's crazy because you remember back now that the one thing you can't give him that 5-year deal. I wanted to get the right
the
number.
money and the term.
The 5-year deal that walks him right to UFA. You
not
have
a
to
single
buy
year.
Some UFA years, or you have to start. Yeah. You have to stop short and keep an RFA year so you can do something.
Or you eat way less money if you're going to get there that quick.
They walked him right to UFA
at big dollars,
$11.634 million per season, and this year a no movement clause kicks in.
There you go.
So this year, no move clause. The last
23-24, 23-24.
So July 1. He's got his hands all over this thing. It's Tkachuk,
say, right? You could trade him for a king's ransom, but I guess
not. But you got to do it before July 1. And the other thing is that it's Nylander up at the exact same time. And he's had a season more impressive than Matthews, even if he isn't as big of a superstar. Whew. There is all kinds of decisions there.
Mother's Day is this weekend. Vinanova, Calgary is it's the lab-grown diamond specialist in the entire city. It's the only place you need to go because I think we've tried to tell you that it just makes sense. It's financially responsible of you to invest in lab-grown diamonds. Up to 80% off what you'll find in the ground. Vinanova.com is the website, or better yet, go to their downtown showroom, second level, Stephen Avenue Place. Yes, lab-grown diamonds, they're grown in a lab, same chemical composition and crystal structure as a natural earth mine diamond. A lot of times these gemologists, they can't tell the difference. And they'll say, you know what, this one actually is better quality. Oh, is that right? Lab-grown. It's engagement season. If you're still thinking about doing that, I would hope maybe you've passed on that by now. God, it's May.
Look, man, when you're in love, there's some crazy shit that goes down.
But for sure, Mother's Day. Moms love diamonds. You'll be a hit. You'll be like, oh, how could you ever do this? Yeah, I don't know, Mom. 80% less than what you think I spent.
Nothing would ever repay what I owe you, Mother.
Vina Nova, VENA Nova.com is the website. And yeah, get to the showroom. Say hi to Justin. He'll take care of you. Pinder report coming up. Wanted to spin you a little bit of something here. World Championships coming up. We had it last week. Mackenzie Weegar, Milan Lucic, Tyler Toffoli are going as representatives, Flames representatives. I guess Lucic in a way. At the,
still under contract till July 1.
And Mackenzie Weegar.
Weeks.
60-game mark, Rhett. All-star break.
Oh,
you were critical up till about that point, and then after that
I thought the new year he turned a corner, but
nicely.
Rhett had to be won
won
over, and I was already looking for him to be better. So,
He was a guest on the Missing Curfew podcast.
Oh, those guys were dinged up last year in the Battle of Alberta. Remember we saw them in the suite?
Scotty Upshaw and
he's got some fine threads.
Shane
He's
O'Brien,
fashionista.
Oh yeah, he's a good-looking guy. They had Mackenzie Weegar on their podcast.
Shane still looks like the guy that owns the corner pub, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's. You know what? He is who he is.
Yeah,
good boy. He's a sweet boy. Talking about because remember at the exit interviews, it actually goes back a year. Remember, Weegar came to town. No one was here. It was summer. They brought him to the Dome, and they had the Weegar jersey hung up in the locker room.
Yeah.
And they had the video, and everybody was like, what is with that?
What's that room?
What, we're in some junior B room? What's going on? So the Flames took some heat over that. And then at the end of exit meetings this year, he says, well, we need a new rink. And then lo and behold.
Truth bomb. A week later.
Bam. Building. So this is the boys on Missing Curfew asking Weegar about the power, the sway he has with city council and in this province, apparently.
Yeah.
And last but not least here on the Calgary Flames, I mean, your year-end interview when you said, I think we need a new fucking barn. I mean, I just laughed right away when I saw it. I was like, Weegs, he's such a beauty. Yeah. So I think you pushed it across the finish line, Weegsy. All I know is, listen, I'm no genius, but Weegsy baby says we need a new barn. A month later, they got a new barn. So how excited are you? Because listen, I've been in that Saddle Dome. It's fucking terrible. Like, that's where my career went to die, Calgary. And that Saddle Dome, I had some lonely mornings in there where, like, I was sitting in that shitty room, the shitty change room. So how excited are you for the fans, the players, and just the whole city?
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty funny. And obviously, kind of a weird coincidence that a week later they got the new rink going. Funny story, actually, is the owner actually called me the next day, and when his number comes up as a Switzerland number, and I was like, oh God, here, the owner's calling me, what's he gonna say here? But he calls and he says, Mackenzie, I just want to thank you. And I was like, oh yeah. He's like, for getting us the new arena. And he starts laughing, and I was like, oh yeah, no problem or whatever, just joking around. And he goes, but the only thing I'm thinking about naming it the Weegar Arena. I started laughing. And he goes, the only thing with that is the sponsorship fees are pretty expensive. We're going to take your contract away. And I started laughing. I was like, I think I need to talk to my agent. But we just had a serious conversation after that. But it was good to, that he called, and he's excited for the new arena. I'm happy that, a bunch of groups got involved and they made it work. I think there's still some stuff that needs to get done. I think there's a re-election or something like that. And stuff, but I really hope that the city still pushes for it. I think they need it. I think we need it, and it'll just create more excitement for next year and the years to come.
You're not good.
Murray Edwards personality alert! Holy moly, telling jokes, cutting it up.
Hey, Murray with some rib ticklers.
Uncle Murr.
Hey,
that I enjoy hearing that. It reminds you that he's a human.
Cutting it up with wigs. Isn't that good?
Yeah.
One more from the Missing Curfew boys. asking just up and down year. Weegsy baby in Calgary. Here's Weegar talking about the departures of Brad Treliving and Daryl Sutter.
It's sad to see them both go. You never want to see anybody go. It just means that the season was tough. So for Brad to step down and get a change, I think that's sort of what he needs. And personally, I'll be the first one to say is that I thought we also needed a coaching change, and I'm excited to see what happens in the future here.
How was his message getting across to some guys? Would he whip the same guys, or would he go around and maybe hit like a a veteran like yourself with something?
I would say Backlund, he would get it pretty good, but Backlund, he'd fight back for sure. He would have a couple fuck you matches, and it's always good to talk about those after the game and laugh about it. But Backlund for sure. I think Daryl, I believe, drafted him. He's coached him for a long time. They obviously have a different relationship that nobody can speak about. It's just them two, and good for Backlund, and good for Daryl. Sometimes that gave us a spark. I think everybody's gotten to a little altercation with Daryl once in their lifetime, but sometimes it was needed. I think sometimes he pushed those buttons that were needed to be pushed, and those like I said, after the game, they were always kind of fun to look back on.
So there you go. Needed the coaching change, in his opinion. And
underlining what we'd heard whispers about, which is Backlund and Daryl for a while here. For him to have the season he had with that, like that, I thought Backlund was one of their top two forwards this year. And if he was MF and the coach back and forth all year and they despised each other, I give him a lot of credit for not looking like
I don't know if they despised each other, but they got into some
whatever was described.
Sure,
yeah, because I don't think people view Backlund that way.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I like hearing that. That's
yes, and I think he has a lot more moxie than we always want to give him credit for because of how soft his entry in the league was. Right?
Is it not interesting though that his best seasons seem to come when he is playing for a hard ass?
I'm trying to remember the year he clips 20 Hartley. And was like fourth in Selke voting. Probably Hartley. But I mean, give him credit because there was guys that didn't get along with the coach and did the opposite, which wasn't work through it. Yeah. It was pull shoot. Yeah. So let's not lump Backlund in with those guys, even if different guys both didn't like the coach. Right? Important distinction.
So trade him, a big return.
That's right.
Or just lock him in, career Flame, put him in the rafters, give him the C-rat.
Yeah, that's what
Did you hear those ages?
That's what the playoffs are showing you. That's what the playoffs are showing you. Make sure you have a bunch of veteran old guys that can really.
No, it's definitely
find those 30-year-old plus guys in your room and get them nailed down long term. Yeah. The more, the better.
I just thought they need someone on that 1 year, $1 million value deal. Let's go. Come on.
I don't know that Mike will be.
They might be able to get Gio.
I don't know. Give him the C, maybe. Yeah, Gio's playing his way into that 800. Maybe is a value, not so much of a value deal.
Let's do the Pinder. And hey, there you go. So thanks, Missing Curfew, Shane O'Brien, Scotty Upshaw. Check out their podcast. It is a good one. Village Honda presents the Pinder Report. Northwest Auto Mall online, villagehonda.com. $1 million buy-in event continues. Get cash for your vehicle. They'll throw in a tropical cruise to boot. That's right, tropical cruise. More online, villagehonda.com. Here is the Pinder Report.
Fellas, we start with Calgary Flames news. It's a big day. NHL Draft Lottery. Woo! And with the worst odds in the NHL Lottery, the Calgary Flames. Yes, it's peak sadness, Rhett, as Ryan Pike has shown us the numbers. The Calgary Flames will either pick 16th or a 0.5% chance, 1.1% chance of picking 6th. Get lifted.
Who would we pick at 6?
Seem likely.
Who'd we pick?
God, I'd love to be into that discussion.
Who's the hot guy at number 6?
It's an intriguing top of the draft because this Russian kid, Mishkov, is like supremely, amazingly talented with term with a Russian team, and his dad just was found dead in a pool. Like some fucked up, crazy shit's goes on in Russia all the time, but this guy coming over is a huge cloud of mystery. And so where does he go?
I'm not saying anything about anything.
That's right.
Ryan Pinder, host of the Pinder Report, is talking about all of this, not Rhett Warner nor myself.
Here are your odds. So the winner of the lottery, Rhett, can go up 10 spots. So that means even if the Flames win the lottery, they can't go to 1, they go to 6, as we just talked about. And that also means that the Blues can get up to first, but Vancouver can get up to first, but no one below Vancouver. Vancouver, actually, Connor Bedard's favorite team. So, North Van guy, North Shore.
He'll be a great Canuck.
God, they've been screwed in the lottery a bunch too. They keep falling back. This would be a good one for them to win. In fact, a good one for anyone to win. The Ducks have the best odds. Pat Verbeek could have the Zegras Bedard combo. Columbus, how do you like Line Gaudreau and Bedard? That would be fun.
So who do you want? I don't mean to jump in on the Pinder Report. I was going to say, can we get that board back up there? Take a look. Not what's best for the league or time zones or all this sort of thing.
Chicago 3, San Jose 4, Montreal 5. So that's your top 5 in odds. Arizona, they played so well. How the fuck did that team get 6th in the odds? Wow.
So from 11 up,
yeah,
they can theoretically win the draft lottery. So Retro, 1 through 11 of those teams, where would you like to see him?
Philly.
Interesting. I would love to see him in Chicago, Detroit, or Vancouver. And Detroit because the league's great when Detroit's great. Chicago because the league's great when Chicago's got stars.
Same with
and
Philly.
Vancouver because that. I guess, yeah. I'm not. Yeah. And again, this is like picking favorite cookies, whatever. It's all dreamland. And Vancouver would be neat because it's a kid's fucking childhood dream. And the odds are slim, 3%. Yeah.
I like Detroit just because it feels like Stevie Y's gotten fucked at the draft lottery
over the
last few years.
They in Vancouver have been always falling down 3 spots.
They get shittered every time.
Agreed.
And I still come back to Arizona. It's an amazing city. We love Scottsdale. Short flight. Keep that team there.
You're away from Matthews.
I think it would be awesome.
It would suck for like 10 minutes in the whole lifespan of it, right? Like it's going to be clunky when you have this burgeoning superstar playing in a fucking junior A rink. But yes, that would save that franchise, that market, and make it a monster for sure.
Think he'd do all right playing on the campus there?
Ooh.
Hot shot first overall.
Well, are his parents moving to they did to Regina?
Guys, you stay home. You'll love Regina. Okay. Just stay there.
Yeah. Well, they're not from Regina.
Winters
are North Shore.
Winters are the same.
Ish.
Don't bother. There you go. 6 o'clock tonight?
6 is when it'll start. You talked about it.
Well, the Oiler game is supposed to start at 6:30, so I don't know. They're not going to.
I would suggest it's done at 6:27.
Yeah. Gosh.
Nice to have the Oilers out of it, but also frustrating that they're still in it.
Well, let's go Flames. 6.
Up
we
to
want
6.
6.
Yeah.
We want 6.
So we can get a Russian that's a superstar that never comes over.
I'm not saying anything about Russia.
Okay, sorry, that was me.
Or Russians.
American Hockey League. Hey, they did it, Rhett. They took the ballsy, we're going to play 2 at home, go on the road for potentially 3. And here are the Calgary Wranglers, game 4 in Abbotsford, tie game. Let's watch what turned out to be the series winning goal eventually from the monster Czech, the 6'7", Adam Klapka. Pelche, nice little dig. And look at the reach on the rebound. And watch this, Rhett. This is look at the time in the game. 7 minutes left in the third. Okay, now go to the bench.
Adam Klapka picking up his own rebound.
Does the gritty on the way to the bench in an elimination game on the road.
Game's over, right?
No.
7
You've
minutes?
got 7 miles and you just danced past the other bench. This is Carson Soucy on crack, if you saw that last night.
We just bring all the kids up next year.
Look at this, and he is a beast, Red.
Pelche, Zeri, Phillips, Poirier, Wolf, just everybody, just come on up.
Let him play.
Fuck,
let the kids
play.
buck. Seriously. If they bring Trevor Lewis back, I'm going to shave my head and move to another country.
Told you, if they come back with the same muck, I'm out. I'm done.
Yeah, it's true.
I'll tell you what, Lewis, that's tough news about the Sutter thing from last week.
Well, he's just got a service in New York now. That's fine. You go to Manhattan. Here's your schedule. They did it again, Rhett. You hate it, but they did it last year and won. They're 1-for-1 this year. They will start at home back-to-back because Shania Twain's in the building, I believe, tonight, tomorrow.
Looks like we made it.
Or tomorrow and the day after. Thursday, Friday openers at the Scotiabank Saddle Dome. Expect big crowds. Single game tickets up to $50 for adults. But hey, come watch the MVP of the league, Pelche, Walker-Deer, and company. As they will open up at home and then go to Palm Springs. It's too hot this time of year, Rhett. All the old folks are coming back north.
Ugh.
It'll be smoking hot with bad ice in not Cowichan Valley, but the Coachella Valley. Cowichan Valley in the BC League.
Yeah.
So again, start at 2 at home, win the 2 at home, go clean up in Palm Springs, have a day by the pool, get your asses back for round 3.
This is professional hockey, right?
Dude, it's the AHL, and it has been a crazy circuit for ages. They won a few years ago. One division was playing like 14 more games than the other. Same league.
So 5 games to determine the winner of the West?
Pacific Division Championship, and then they'll go for the Pacific, and then they'll get the winner of Milwaukee and Texas, which is Austin. Oh, think of the travel, Rhett. You could either have dollar bottled beer in Milwaukee or Austin, Texas. Can we cover this?
Wolverines! 5 games?
Yeah, we're missing the boat
determine.
here.
Oh, I know. Man. And they had a 1 bye in the play-in round and best of 3s where one city hosted them all. Like the Pacific Division just makes up their own rules. The rest of the league kind of looks normal. But it'll be action back-to-back Thursday, Friday at the Dome. Exciting.
Go watch. Go support the kids.
Go watch.
Damn
Let's
it.
go.
Might be there Friday with the young
going
men.
boom.
Go Thursday.
We'll see.
Thursday is definitely then the day to go.
They'll both be great days. I'll be locked in a
high kicks,
suite with free popcorn.
Waves.
We're not quite full battery yet, but we're moving in the right direction. Okay, so let's go to NHL. Last night, just got to get back on the path, right? Mm-hmm. Dino, we talked about the results. Here's a quick scan again. Reminder of those scores. Blowout in the afternoon. Incredible drama for the evening game. And at night, another blowout where Seattle looked bleeping awesome. We're going to start with the Toronto-Florida drama. First, in an image, hey, Austin, how's the series going? Well, I'd have to say it's a big L so far, buddy. Remember this?
I do remember.
It was never going to go age well, was it? It was never going to age well.
Someone has to step in there.
I know. And it's like,
listen, Austin, I understand this is a nice thing. And to you, the whatever Louboutin or whatever the hell company.
Louis Vuitton.
We can't have him wearing an L on his jacket. We can't. Is there anything else? Do you have any other jackets?
His agent based now like, Austin, the NHL world they're just too anal. This is you're a game breaker. You're gonna be on the cover of GQ. It's an idiotic decision and it's not gonna age well. Don't listen to your LA agent. Fuck. How is this a good idea, Red?
Do you like the puffy coats?
I did it and I had fancy shoes on and I got ripped for it. So
there you go.
Yeah.
And if you think it's just the Leafs core and okay, Florida's plucky, we're forgetting one thing we've known for over a decade, gentlemen. There are some jinxie pants not to be messed with. Here was Andrew Walker in the opening minutes of game 1. Our good pal, Walks. There is so much pressure off the Leafs, they're going to win this series. He still got it.
Well, he was trolling, you see.
Well, I mean, that's how you sell it. But, I mean, how does this not look like the worst take of all time, not trolling? I mean, spin it how you want. But that's the – did he think Florida was going to sweep them?
You know better than to think he would go and puff up the Leafs like that.
So then what's he doing?
It's sarcasm. It's
a nice out when anytime I'm wrong, it's sarcasm. And I'm right, I'm a genius. Can I get that card?
I use it all the time.
And we'll move on.
I was going to say, fuck, it's printed on your forehead.
Sarcasm?
No, it's great when I'm right, and when I'm wrong, it's sarcasm.
But what's sarcasm? No, I'm just in denial about being wrong. I'm not sarcastic, Ron.
Fair enough.
Florida. Okay, so this year's Cinderella may indeed be the Panthers. They're closest to punching their ticket to round 3, which would get them to the Final Four. Their vibes are immaculate right now. Seattle's are very strong. Edmonton has the one regulation loss in their last 23. Like, there's some teams feeling good right now. But let's go back in time and remember how the Panthers season went. Retro, July 1. Can't sign players. We're at the cap. July 22. Insane Huberdeau, Weegar, Kachuk trade. October, sign the Stahl Bros somehow, but we have no cap. January 1, 13th in the East. Not going to be our year. 13th. This is almost St. Louis Blues last in the NHL shit. Trade deadline, 0 trades. Next screen. Trade deadline, no trades. We trade all those picks at last year's deadline. Let's stand pat. We don't need to make moves if we can't make them. April 13th. We need to win to make it in. We lost, but Pittsburgh lost to Columbus and Chicago. They get in. Fucking last playoff spot because Pittsburgh couldn't beat 2 fucking lottery losers. Round 1. Just don't get swept by Boston. Okay, well, now they're down 3-1. Let's just win 3 straight to shock the Bruins. Oh, now we're up 3 on Toronto. This league is drunk. The margins between being a champion and an absolute doormat loser that needs to fire everyone is like this. Remember that. Anytime people try to tell us this tournament, oh, there's only 4 contenders. Fuck you. 16 teams get in. Anyone could win this thing. Whew. That's my Florida rant. And they could win the damn thing. Why not? Seattle could win the damn thing. Why not?
Well, they were President's Trophy winners last year. And we all knew Bobrovsky was going to turn back into
win.
Speaking of which, the plot we did not see coming this postseason. The revenge tour for Bob and Gruby. What? Woo! Who the fuck saw this coming?
Yeah.
Right? Oh, it's only the most important position that washes out everything else. Worst two in the league
2 rounds
for
in
salary last year? It's wild.
I was thinking back to our playoff draft. We laughed hard when Bobrovsky... Did Bobrovsky even get taken?
Yeah, probably.
Did he? I'm trying to even think.
I mean, look, they were a wild card against the best team in NHL regular season history. Of course you'd laugh.
Yeah.
That's how crazy this tournament is. And finally, if you want some insights into what's going to happen tonight, Edmonton hosting Vegas, Game 3, tied at 1. There's been one thing that has always been true about when the Oilers win and lose. Bad news, Oilers fans. Good news, Oilers haters. Let's have a peek. The Oilers have mirrored the exact schedule of wins and losses as the Dallas Stars. They both lost 1, 1 in round 1. Same games, same wins. Round 2, both lose with 4-goal performances, both win game 2 to tie the series. Last night, Dallas lost game 3. The Oilers and Stars will always be tied in playoffs with those incredible rivalries they had, late 90s? This is wild.
Not a chance.
And maybe it ends tonight.
Well, I'm looking forward to your Betway bets.
5.
Yeah, we're hitting the over.
1 Oilers again. They're going to stomp them.
Go find that number on Betway. We'll throw that in for you. That'll pay a nice, pretty penny if it's 5-1. Okay, so that's the hockey story. We'll move quickly. Rhett was the answer. I'm not sure if it was to the Pittsburgh general manager inquiries.
Great meeting
you do
in
have to ask
Pittsburgh.
about Rhett's interview there.
Great meeting.
But certainly for the Blue Jays' woes, after getting swept in Boston, they were immaculate in Pittsburgh, outscoring the Pirates 22-3 in a sweep. Retro was there. Retro, a lovely photo. Spend more in your seats. Get off your wallet like you did at Yankee Stadium. I thought Pittsburgh would be cheaper. Thank you for fixing the Blue Jays for at least a weekend.
I was with people that were cheap bastards. I couldn't force them into it.
Couldn't treat them either, apparently. Okay. And
I didn't buy it, actually.
I was going to say, yeah.
Really,
he's not paying for those seats.
I was going to say that's
and it doesn't matter if he's going with somebody else. Like, I don't sit with I'm not sitting there.
Now, did you get a chat with Vladdy? He missed the last 2 games of this series. They have an off day today. That'll be 3 games in a row for that ailing left wrist. How's it looking? Swollen?
He'll be all right. He's going to take a little time. That's fine because the team's in good shape. We're on a roll again, winning games. We're not a concern. Take your time, Vlad. Take your time.
In Philly to see Frank today and tomorrow, and then a massive 10-game homestand 4 against the Braves, 4 against the
Can't wait
Yankees,
to be
3
there
against
Thursday,
Baltimore.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. It's going to be awesome. You guys coming?
3 Braves and 1 Yankee. That would be awesome. And looking up, Mike Soroka still down with Gwinnett, so you won't be able to see our boy necessarily yet on that trip.
Mother's Day at the. You guys coming? Mother's Day at the.
Are you flying mom out?
Stadium? Come on.
Are you flying your mom out?
Let's go. I asked my mom to come. She told me to F off. Hates Toronto.
It's a shame. Yeah. Randy Arozarena and the Rays had a great series against the Yankees this past weekend. Yankees, good team, last in the division somehow because everyone's good all of a sudden, and the Rays are just always good. Check out this. Randy, remember in the World Baseball Classic, Randy Arozarena made that incredible catch and then did the frozen stare stand in the outfield? He cranks one here.
Into the pool.
Almost hit a Ray. And they're wearing the old Devil Rays duties.
I know.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. And look at that. He's such a beauty. Now that seems like fun, Rat. Guess what happened his next 2 at-bats?
Yeah, I wonder.
Plump?
His next 2.
The next
twice.
2. Yes.
Yes.
So the Yankees are still cool and all about having fun, right? No facial hair, no celebrating, or we're going to dart you in the back with a fastball. He is such a gem. And that's, that was, I think, the first day of the Arozarena zone. Like he's got his own little area there. Ripped the bomb. What a beauty!
I can't believe we played.
I think they all got
there.
they all got free something or other there. What a gem! This guy's a superstar.
Like the shoes.
Like everything about it. That's great. Also beat the Yankees twice. Love that too. Finally, Oakland is going to go to Vegas. We know that, right? And it's sad because we watched the Oakland A's team be shitty because the owner doesn't spend. And fans try to show up, but why are we going to show up if this owner's not going to spend? This is a great video of how things were in Oakland. And it isn't like goodbye. We've got a little time here. But remember how fucking hype Oakland used to be. This was like the punk rock,
Eckersley.
meanest place you could go watch baseball.
Grant Balfour?
That's right. Listen to this.
Here's the ovation coming from the fans and noise around you.
Packed house, playoff game.
I'd like to file a noise complaint. I'm trying to watch the baseball game, and these people are raging.
Like the drums, the headbanging. Like, it was a zoo. And they fucking killed this because they want to sell more luxury suites in Vegas. I mean, it's not new. It's just sad. Look at this shit. I love it. No, it's playoffs, but still, guys. This is sad what's happening. Possums in the press box from this.
Oh, well.
Too bad.
I wasn't
Norm
gonna go.
Green. Yeah, it's a good place to get stabbed. If you're going to go, wear the Kelly Green. And a couple more for you. You see the Suns owner get bodied by one of the Denver Nuggets superstars?
I saw a headline.
So it's Jokic, right? The big unstoppable superstar here. Watch the
believe
ball.
he'll be gone. Going to be strange to walk into this building.
Big man's coming in here in the white.
As Phoenix turns it over. Now, boy, Jokic, a little bit of contact. Boy, that potentially could get dangerous.
I think Jokic was just trying to get the basketball from the crowd and
So if we get a replay here, this man in the suit there, that's the owner of the Suns. That happens to flop pretty hard as an elbow brushes him from the 7-footer.
In that corner, security quickly trying to step in and defuse the situation.
a little bad boy action.
The owner, the one guy, Rhett, in the whole building.
I think there was nothing to it. Just
he knew.
Excited.
He targeted him. He was targeting him.
I mean, his head's in his waist. I don't even know if he saw him, but yeah.
As both teams will go to their respective.
This is the angle where you see the,
got
the ball.
Landing. That's
Give
what
me that
happened
ball.
there.
Watch the flop.
Jokic, boy, trying to rip it away from Matt.
Oh!
And then the little shove. Oh, wow. Boy.
10 games.
You know,
Bro.
did play for Tom Izzo, so he's unafraid.
Can't do that.
Sure.
Can't do that with fans.
A little bit of a.
Can't lay your hands on the fans.
Even a gazillionaire is like, I can get some money out of this.
Yeah.
Don't know how that fits in, but we threw it in there. Last couple items. Cavalry's 4th game of the year. They opened against Vancouver FC, their first ever home game in Langley. Great crowd. Great support for the Langley side. Cavs had a 1-0 lead. You want to see the goal? We got the goal. They've had 1-0 leads, I think, in every single game.
Don't screw this up.
Atmosphere out of this match, and
I
Vancouver
like this.
has dealt with a lot of pressure, but hasn't really shown any fallacies yet. Maybe here's one. They can't clear it.
Lovely. So 1-0 there. Vancouver is down to 10 men the rest of the game. Red card. They get an awkward bounce equalizer, and it's a 4th draw in a row for the Cavs. Red. 4 games of the lead. 4
Do
draws.
I have to come back to go to a Cavs game to change the momentum here?
Can you be back Saturday for 5 p.m.?
No. Next.
We are giving away tickets again this week. Just chatted with Mason Trafford over at Cavs. It is a pair with Pinder. We're giving away you +1 to come to a game with me Saturday and a pal, potentially even one of our good pals of Village Honda.
I love this.
Come to the game. We'll show you how to move and shake. We'll get there early. We'll get you lubricated. And we'll watch the Cavs pick up their first 3 points of the season, 5 p.m. at ATCO Field. Watch your socials for your chance to win.
He's included himself in this package, so now he gets in for free, and he's got an excuse with the sheriff at the house to go. Yeah, I got to work, honey. It's work.
Do you think that's what I want to be doing today instead of hanging with you and the kids?
I was born at night, not last night.
Sorry, babe.
Pulling some moves here.
Babe, I'm sorry.
Good for you, Ryan. Proud.
Oh, we need some content.
Just a little startup.
And look.
Put in the extra time.
Winless, but also undefeated.
Undefeated.
They need a little drunken Pinder high kick energy. They need some vibes out there. Let's go. 5 o'clock. See you there.
Will they get, does that come with the Pinder virus or is that extra?
The virus, I believe, is a Mexico add-on. The Canadian plugins work better.
Got it.
Yeah. We've tested them a lot more. Last one for you. Wasn't the only one with a shitty weekend. Ask the San Francisco Giants. As well, they were just in Mexico too, right? Did you know that? San Fran. I think there was an exhibition series. Yeah, Logan Webb. There it is. The whole team has the shits after Mexico trip.
Quote unquote. Nice.
You know, it's just
the trip was the shits? No.
Nope. There's a queue at the stall.
Did they play down there?
They must have had some sort of Mexico City opener or something. Either that, I don't know. There's no All-Star break or anything. Either way, the pros find a way to play through it, dude.
They sure
That's
do.
your Pinder report.
Brought to you by Village Honda. Book your detailing package today online at villagehonda.com. Clean off winter, get ready for spring, feeling and looking your best. $79.95 is where those packages start. Only at Village Honda, your dealership for life.
Don, Mr. Maloney, don't, if you're looking for me, my phone's not working, so email only, please.
Yeah, what have we heard there? It sounds like now that the internal audit is done, it feels like GM stuff would be front burner. And then once they hire you, Rhett, you either anoint yourself or a pal to be a head coach here?
Oh, for sure. Maybe a close relation. Yeah, we're going to have a great squad. Great management team. We got some good things coming for you, folks.
That's great news for Todd Warner.
Yeah.
Get back into the league.
Finally. You bring back Jerome. You need Oliwa running security. Marty's already there. Connie's keeping everything under wraps here for you so far. Like this
Connie'd be mad.
What are you talking about? Connie's never mad. It'd be co-GMs, whatever works.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
I'll give him a big bump up in pay. It'll be fun.
He gave the C away to Iggy. He knew. He knows.
Darn it, Rhett. Jeez.
I guess we'll just have to have a bunch of fun and win some games along the way.
Speaking of the Flames, this day in Flames history brought to you by McLeod Law and Peter Klein, specializing in your in personal injury. When you are injured, you got a lot on your stress.
I talked to them about the Mexico thing. Apparently,
that's not the kind of injury,
no.
Ryan. Take the stress off your shoulders. You're not alone. They are on your team. They handle the legal, the insurance, the medical claims. You focus on your recovery and nothing else. McLeod-law.com. Get a hold of Peter Klein and his folks. Right there, you have the contact info on your screen. So let's go back this day in 1989.
Oh, it's a good year. Good vintage.
1989.
Chicago.
To the Chicago
Look at that old
Stadium.
building.
Yes, we've got some great highlights here.
Oh,
This is Game 4.
the Madhouse.
Game 4 of the Campbell Conference Final. Lanny McDonald here. He's chasing after Trent Yanni.
Trent, you dirty prick! You cost us in '96.
No, Lanny's like, what I do there? I didn't. There's nothing there. Oh, it's tripping. That's bullshit. Oh, well, maybe got something in there. A very young Jeremy Roenick playing for the Hawks takes a run at Colin Patterson. Poor
Patter, don't put up with that BS.
Oh, poor Pat.
Get out of here, JR, you young cocky
gets
prick.
a major. Remember the stairs?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
At Chicago Stadium. Later in the game, they didn't
How
even
come
have
Lanny
it
has a
during the
helmet on
commercial
now
break.
and didn't before?
I know. What's
Otto taking the stairs. He's out for the game. Power play for the Blackhawks. There's Dennis Savard. Chicago score. There's Savard, puts it underneath Mike Vernon and just across the line.
Two-pad stack. Come on, Vernie. Butterfly.
Yeah.
That was the style back then.
And the Flames get a power play of their own.
Look at Big
McInnes
Al.
to Dougie Gilmore, one-timer.
Pretty
stuff. Beats Alain Chevrier. Look at the moule.
Chevrier.
Great hair on Dougie.
Nice fake.
How could you trade that hair?
How could you trade any of these guys? Mullen, Gilmore, McInnes.
So we go to overtime in a 1-1 tie. Now
Crispy,
watch
spark him up.
Trent Yanni, top of your screen in white. The puck gets to him and then he just flips it.
That's illegal,
You
prick.
see that?
Cheater.
Puck comes right at him. He grabs it and throws it. Well, that's a penalty. You can't
you
do
think?
that. So off you go. Power play. Take a listen.
Outside to McInnes. He lets it go. He scores!
Oh, there's Terry getting a freebie from row one.
Smooching there?
Yeah, it's not his wife either.
We'll talk
That's
to
not
that in
Mrs.
a moment. So there you go. Al McInnes. Rip. Right by Alain Chevrier.
Come on, Chevy. You got to get out of the net a little. Take down the angle.
What are you doing?
Flames go up 3-1 with this one, but now the broadcast team, they're aware of this.
Take a look at this. I don't know who he's kissing. I don't think it's his wife. He better have some reason there.
You see the reaction? Up over the glass he goes. How about that, folks? Grab the First Lady he sees. That's Norma McNeil, the wife of a former Chicago Blackhawk defenseman, Al McNeil, who is the assistant general manager of the Calgary Flames. The Flames celebrate a 2-1
We're not trying to
victory
stir anything up, but
boy, that's awkward.
Chopper
Flames win a 2-1 in
ass.
Game 4 of the conference final back in 1989. Brought to you by McLeod Law, Peter Klein, and his staff. They are Calgary through and through. Big part of their long-standing client relationships. They understand this city, the people in it, and the way things work, just like the communities they serve. The McLeod Law team, varied and diverse, and share a commitment to making Calgary greatest place possible. McLeod Law.
We'll salute to McLeod Law.
McLeod
Care package sent over.
That's right. McLeod Law. You guys.
Do they know us or do they know us?
They know us.
They know Calgary.
Great partners.
This is where they're from. They get the people. They're one of us.
Austin, Peter. That's good stuff.
Love Austin. Petey. Yeah.
There you go. Now, I know you're going to want to run here. Right? Which kid's having a birthday?
Oh, yeah, you're late.
Youngest. The youngest.
Oh. Yeah. Jaime? Is that
double digits? Oh, my goodness.
Is he 6'5" yet?
My goodness. What are we doing today? Strippers?
He's a mean bastard, too. Just sniped 5 in his soccer game yesterday.
Yeah, he did. Shit, yeah.
Wow.
What time does Bear Facts open? Is that what it was there? Bear, is that
that's
Ottawa. Taking Brass Rail. We're going to Brass Rail. We're going to Toronto. Come on.
Oh, wow. That's expensive.
Why not? Let's
Big birthday.
Go. It's the best of the weekend. Put together a little montage for you here. It's a presentation of Green Drop.
Yay.
Green Drop. Have the best looking lawn in your neighborhood. It's just as easy as going to greendrop.com. Pick your package there, the beautiful basics package, the beautiful premium package. Find one that works for you. If it's the premium, you got the aeration, overseeding, the exclusive soil booster, fertilization, weed control. It's the best and only way to really do it, frankly. The greenkeepers come by, they treat the yard for you. It's 100% guaranteed. Greendrop.com. And if you are watching on YouTube, there's a QR code in the corner of the screen. You click on that, it'll take you to the website, and you will get a nice little discount for being a part of the Barn Burner faithful. So let's, for Green Drop, we'll take a look here at the best of the weekend.
Love this. Boomer's best of the weekend.
And a little sighting at the end.
This is just Cringeville.
You might remember. Let's go.
All right.
We want Florida. We want Florida.
Reinhart changing sides of the ice for Lundell. Return to Reinhart right in front. He scores! Sam Reinhart gives the Panthers a 3-0 lead in the series.
We want Florida. We want Florida. We want Florida.
From Dallas and Mason Marchment.
Ooh.
The hit where Marchment's just trying to pick up the puck a little bit behind him and doesn't see Soucy stepping up.
Bang.
Hughes and Aho. And he's been one run into the ice. That's Jack Hughes. A leading big candidate for most gentlemanly player. Not in the playoffs.
More of a wrestling match, but I'd like to see that.
Jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. Grappling.
Well, Kane's got somebody down. He's throwing punches.
Look at this class act.
It's Colasar.
This crowd's been quiet. There was a start of rambunctious area early, but now these fans are back up. Vander Kane, Colasar.
Two guys that know how to do this.
You don't see a lot of body shots in hockey scraps. Is that, I don't know, is that a...
Well, yeah, I mean, you also don't see a lot of guys getting jumped from behind and headlocked, and then, you know, when you want to fuck around, sometimes you got to find out. So that's what happened.
Door doesn't fix us. I thought I would clear you. Greg said, you f***ing bored the f*** out of us, man. What the f*** is your f***ing problem?
Woo!
What's your deal?
Hands are up.
Come on now.
Like I knew what he's doing.
And the 1-2 hit hard to right field.
Brett, I knew you were in
Dalton
Pittsburgh.
Varsho just hit it out of the
made the broadcast. So there's the Varsho home run. It goes out into the Allegheny River.
Oh.
Now I know it's the kid's birthday, but Brett, you can't be doing that.
No, he wanted it.
Can't be doing that. I understand it's a souvenir.
That's right. Look, it's first time.
It's interesting. And also, Pinder, I had no idea you were in Pittsburgh.
Well, yeah, buddy. Brett was there. You were hanging.
You tell me you're in Banff or some friggin' thing. You're not feeling well. Look, if you guys want to hang out without me, just let me know. It's fine.
As long as I got the booze going, I'm feeling good.
You don't need to do that kind of
I'd be
stuff.
sick and feeling good. You just have to over-medicate a bit.
It's the best of the weekend. Brought to you by Green Drop. Again, greendrop.com. If you aren't satisfied, they will return and make things right. It's science, people. Let the people that know what they're doing do it. Don't be going out and buying some spreader thing. And what is it? What kind of long? Are we all day sun?
I got the wrong nitrate mix.
What do the numbers mean? What's the first number and the second number? Greendrop.com. That's all you need to know. Green Drop.
QR code. Give it a zap. Get yourself some money saved.
I got a question. Again, full of questions today. So the young lad likes burgers. So we're having burgers. But I'm trying to think of something unique to put on top because he's not going to have an onion. What about like peanut butter, syrup?
Peanut butter goes with everything. Don't cringe like that. Peanut butter goes with everything. So if your initial reaction is yuck, you're wrong. It fits with everything.
I have a hard stance on peanut butter.
You don't
peanut
eat
butter?
Peanut butter
On toast. Don't put it with jam. Don't put it with chocolate. Don't put it with bananas.
So you're against Reese's Pieces. You're against Reese's
I
Cups.
do not like Reese's Cups. I like Reese's Pieces.
Peanut butter bun. What about a peanut butter bun?
Peanut butter bun. Yeah, butter. Okay, sure. Feels gratuitous.
Okay. Who is the former Yankees pitcher, Minnesota guy? He's like trading cards all the time, and he swears by the peanut butter pickle sandwich, and it sounds atrocious. Everyone tries it, and
what was
it's
Elvis's
nails.
thing?
Yeah, peanut butter bananas, fried.
Peanut butter bananas. Yeah, something like that.
Peanut butter.
I might go with the peanut butter bacon onion burger tonight for myself.
You know who wouldn't like that is Tom Pody.
Tom Pody.
Yeah.
Tom can.
Oiler D, man.
American.
Peanut butter.
Tom will go down.
He'd be on the floor.
Really?
Massive peanut allergy.
Well, that's a thing, yeah.
Something just got delivered here.
Oh.
Is that chick jumping out of the cake like your last?
Stripogram?
Yeah.
All right, I gotta go. Oilers,
Mr. Jaime.
I'm out. You're the best.
Great.
See you, buddy. What do you have to say?
Okay.
Oilers suck.
All right, there he goes. Happy birthday to the young man. Anything else we got to clean up since Rhett's gone now?
Well, probably.
Okay. Betway Bets. Know that.
Betway Bets. It's 25% off appetizers at Mad Rose today.
What?
Mad Rose Pub. Mad Rose Pub every day of the week. They have their lunch specials and the specials that are on every single day. But then on top of that, then they do something else. Mondays, 25% off all appetizers.
See, I know I'm getting closer to healthy now because I'm feeling the pull.
Mm-hmm.
Friday, I'm like, it could be 100% off appetizers. I'm going to die if I don't crawl into bed right now.
Go to the website, madrose.pub, 15 Royal Vista Place. And what I love about this, we've talked to Matt, that there's people are kind of coming in, they're talking about it, and then they're coming back.
Well, if
Beautiful.
you try the food, you're coming back. It's that simple.
We just get them in the door. Just get in the door. Mad Rose is going to do the rest. Some of the best food. Never mind pub food. It's great grub. Full entrees, best pizzas in Calgary, gourmet pizza dough, signature sauce made fresh every day. Delicious.
Now, they got us, Mad Rose Pub, hoodies. Can we get a barn burner hoodie up in that? Because I know they got the new outdoor patio area.
Oh, yeah.
Like the enclosed, but like, have they decorated that space?
I'm not sure.
Could we hang a barn burner?
I'm sure they'd love that.
Maybe we just go in and don't tell them, see if they notice.
Yeah, something like that.
A little swap.
Madrose.pub, the website, if you want to skip it or dish it or dash it or whatever.
Just go.
Get it. Or just go. Definitely just go. Good people up in Mad Rose Pub. And yeah, then we'll do Betway Bets and we'll get the hell out of here.
Do
the Betway Bets. Get that Betway app on your phone and be responsible. Bet the responsible way. That's right. There's one game in the National Hockey League playoffs tonight.
I think I know where the bet's today.
Edmonton Oilers.
Okay, before we look,
Vegas Golden Knights.
What are the odds you have Sam won? Oh, okay.
I'm just riding the Draisaitl train.
How could you not?
2 goals plus 400. Keep on going, Leon. You big galoot.
We talked on Friday. It's like, yeah, he's shooting 36%. 2 on 4. Okay, he's shooting 40% now.
Yeah.
This is one of the greatest heaters of our lives we're watching. The guy's possessed right now.
And I understand when you were talking earlier about McDavid, is he hurt or not? Leon Draisaitl is...
He's a fucking alpha.
Right? You think of the mule, right? It's just whatever nicknames you want to give him, he's an unstoppable force right now.
That's correct. 2+ paying 400 still.
And then...
How many times did you have won that this year? Like half?
Well, yeah,
it's crazy.
You'd be up a lot.
Yes.
And the other bet from tonight, it's a little combo. It's a pre-built bet. I am going to go over 5.5 total goals for the game and an Oilers money line win plus 115.
Okay, I got some similar vibes here. I'm going the Draisaitl McDavid stack. Connor had 2 last game. McDavid scoring every goddamn game. If they both score, it's not a huge number, but it feels pretty automatic. Plus 200. Triple your money right now?
Why not?
Put 100 down and up with 300. Let's go. And Vegas Edmonton, I'm playing the high-scoring game here. Let's see. Haven't loved Brossoit.
7.5.
Skin Flute's been up and down. I expect a bigger pushback from Vegas, but both teams, like Edmonton, can just score. So if I get a 4-4, 5-4, we're dancing, baby, because I need at least 2 from McDavid and Draisaitl.
I don't think you'll get 4-4.
Well, to get us to overtime, right? Because then we hit the over.
It's
Betway Bets
hard.
today.
It's hard. Yes, Betway Bets of the day. It's hard right now finding some value on that Oilers side.
Yes, because they're a wagon right now.
Friggin' video game. What is their power play now? It's
like 55%, 60%.
Yeah.
It's
when are these whistles going away?
They did last night for Toronto. Did you see that? It was the first game in the entire regular season or playoffs that Toronto didn't have a power play. And to be fair, they really didn't deserve it.
Sad.
So if that happens to the Oilers, that'd be cute. But I feel like Connor's going to draw a couple on his own anyway.
Thanks for being a part of it. We appreciate you. Have a fine rest of your Monday or whenever it is that you're listening to this show.
Great show today, Dean.
Tomorrow, Frank Seravalli will be joining us.
And Big Dick Nick's going to come in Wednesday or Thursday. Talk Leafs.
Yeah, it'll be all over by then.
Could
game
be.
Day, if he's in
or
on Wednesday.
It will be one of the greatest 3-0 comebacks in the history of time.
Nick Alberga, Leafs Nation, at the Golden Muzzy.
Our boy.
On Twitter. Funny guy. He'll be joining us on Wednesday. Looking forward to that. Have a good rest of your day, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate you. See ya. Later, buddies.
See ya. Bye.
I keep waiting for Rhett to say Oilers.
He already did. He said they suck. Let's go.
See ya.
Bye.